Hey guys, welcome to the Big Talk with Austin, your monthly news podcast where we talk about everything that has happened in the previous month of this month. Everything that has happened in the last month. I am your host, Austin. I'm joined once again by our co-host, Carson.
Hello, hello.
And honestly, these podcasts are doing better than I thought. More better than the previous way that we've been doing it. So that's good to see. And if you guys are listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any other listening platform that you are able to listen to this on, thank you. Welcome. We have a lot to dive into. We even have we even are trying something a tiny bit different. We have like a hot take, and we'll get to that when we do. But a lot of stuff has happened this month. And one actually happened earlier today, we'll get into later, which I'm really excited about to talk about. But first, not everyone likes, talking about sad news, depressing news.
That's not true. That's not
That's
true.
that's
Don't
that's
listen.
that's what everyone wants in the world is depression. Um, But on serious note, this is a rough one. If you guys don't know, a lot of stuff has been going on with Alec Baldwin and his new movie Russ. If you guys don't know, there was a shooting accident on set where apparently a couple of bullets ended up on set, and while shooting one scene, someone got shot during the process. And so, it first led to Alec Baldwin. I'm pretty sure I'm messing up his last name. Being not accused of like murder, but like accidental manslaughter. I think that's the
Mhm.
accusations as he's being accused of. I don't think he's been proven guilty yet. I think he's been acquitted from one of the charges, but I don't know if he's been I don't think he's been guilt yet or sentenced to a certain to anything yet. But we did find we did find somebody guilty, and her name is Hannah. I don't know how to say her name middle name.
Gutierrez-Reed. Yeah.
She was
Gutierrez-Reed.
the armor of the weapons on the set of Rust. And apparently during this whole entire, which finally someone has been brought to justice, at least in some form, which
Hmm.
why did it take this long in general to get her in court or anything? Because it should have started with her, but no, it started with Alec Bowman. My face is getting bloated for some reason. I don't know what's going on with her. But
It's just letting you know. No, I'm just
yeah. But I don't know. It seems it took very long to get to this point, but now we're finally at this point, and she's been found guilty. We haven't got anything about her sentence yet. I don't think we're getting anything till April from my understanding. Um, but yeah, this article dives into some interesting stuff of like how the hell does something like this happen? Especially when you find out six bullets were found on set, six real live bullets. And it's like, how is that even possible?
yeah. I mean, you look at this and these are the types of things where it's like, um, you've seen explosions before where people get hurt or stunts or, that's why stunt double insurance and certain actors don't do certain things because there is risk, right? Um, Is it the right decision? We are not, the system of court. I do have faith in our justice system to do the right thing. At the end of the day, I look at it and I go, could this have been prevented? Absolutely. But it's one of those things where obviously
Well,
it's just a tragic mistaken incident.
I mean,
So
if you go through the things that she's been accused of and found guilty, is that she didn't really do her job. That's the problem with
sure.
it. Because it's been said here that she didn't really check the gun. She's kind of just because the way that it is handled is that the armor. It's the one that keeps the gun safe. They're the one that sets up
Hmm.
everything. And next, they hand it off to the assistant director. He checks he or she, they, I don't know, however you want to go by it. Um, they check the gun,
Hmm.
and next they hand it off to the actor. And next, the assistant director says, cold gun, which means it's a safe gun to use on set. We're shooting. Let's do this. And the assistant director was found guilty too because he didn't do his job checking the gun either. And so,
Well, and that's just failed systems, right?
well, yeah,
So we would you would expect and anticipate, hey, this is not going to be a danger to anybody, but it just so happens that it is.
yeah,
And so, you think of, I think of, that's why it's involuntary manslaughter and
yes.
like criminal negligence. It was negligent that led to, a death. And so the question is, I think it's up to 18 months of, 18 months
What
of
she's what she's going for,
yeah,
yes.
in prison. I mean, I don't know if that's the sentence that will be given.
Probably
Um,
not.
no, and I don't think that that's the right decision either. But at the end of the day, it would be like me driving distracted, let's say looking down, like this and then running somebody over.
Hmm.
Is it obviously intentional? No, but at the end of the day, it's negligent and shouldn't happen. And
Yeah.
so I feel bad because obviously anytime somebody shoots and kills somebody or is like responsible, I don't think that people like sit here and go, oh, like I'm so excited to like, hurt people. Obviously that
Yeah.
wasn't meant to be.
I
But,
mean, who
you
knows?
know,
Maybe that was someone's attention. We just haven't seen because we don't have the full story.
no, I mean
But like again,
that
I'm not trying to accuse somebody, but again, like
yeah. Well, and that's the thing is it's
six
like,
real bullets on set is not an accident. At least I don't see that
no.
as an accident because like how is that even
But
possible?
I'm genuinely curious how many people can tell the difference between real versus fake,
Well, that's
blanks
another
versus
thing.
not.
They look
So,
very similar, and a lot of people, and maybe I shouldn't say this because there's some people that I know that I work. There's somebody that I work with. They said like Alabama should known like he should have checked the gun and known that it was like there's live bullets in it. I'm like, do you that first of all, second, just first of all, it's not the actor's job to check the gun. There's actually laws in place that they're not supposed to do that for one, because then it'll mess because then because then the gun can go off and then the actor gets hurt because there's still other priorities that they have to worry about towards the actor who is using the
sure.
gun. Second, if you look at a real bullet in a fa in a blank, they look pretty freaking similar to somebody that never has really used a gun, a real
Yes.
gun.
And
And this person not
let's
trying
see
and
if we
not
can
trying
find
to
that.
bash on this person, but it's like, oh no, no, you can tell no, you can't because it's just
Oh,
like you unless you really take out the bullet and really look at it, it's like, well, this lettering is different from this. I'm like, I don't like that Alec
yeah.
Baldwin is being trashed that
So,
much. You can't really
you
see it.
think real versus fake. Have people look at it. I mean,
Yeah,
if you're not aware and familiar, you're probably not going to know. I mean, you can tell by like the projectile portion of it, but
yeah.
yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, we don't want to speculate on, what should have been known versus not known. What the
Uh,
court does is they look at the facts and they see negligence and they see that this shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
And so they've accordingly,
I don't think Alex should have been charged for anything.
well, I mean,
It's because it's like why did the director not get charges for something? He didn't know there was a
yeah.
real bullet in there, and he's the
Well, at
one
the end
that
of the
said
day,
action.
who pulled,
But
who pulled the trigger? So,
well, the assistant director said it's okay, it's a safe gun, shoot
sure.
it, and so that's same thing applies to the director. So it's just like I don't think Alec Baldwin should really been at least charged as hard as he is getting right now.
Well,
Um,
I mean, he's a face to make,
make money and all. It's
well, I mean, yeah,
make money off his name, and
he's a
so
he's a news catcher. But I
yeah.
mean, like I said, it's a really sad, unfortunate. You'd never want to be the person that's in that situation or
Yeah.
scenario. So,
And I kind of have a question for this is like, how do you see this affecting the movie industry from a filming standpoint? Do you see them taking more safety protocols with this, or do you see them like, all right, nope, no more practical effects like this on set. We're gonna go all CGI with it.
I mean, first off, that would be silly to just eliminate everything. That would be like every time a car gets in an accident, we should
Ex
just take cars off the road.
exactly. Yeah.
So, from a perspective, it's, hey, how do we get better at doing our job, and how are we preventing negligence? Because obviously, people are people, right? So mistakes do happen, and unfortunately, some mistakes have higher, worse consequences than others. So
Hmm.
my hope is that long term, that they just review it to be more of how do we prevent this from happening with additional safety
Mm.
precautions, and and maybe they make it, hey, if you're an actor, check it before I mean, ideally, in certain scenarios, that's not the best
They
way, right?
I think they might put some training into that of
Yeah.
just
Well, if you're
because
going to
of
be
what this.
wielding if
Yeah.
I'm wielding a sword, I'm not going to be like, "Hey, you have no training on a sword, but hey, by the way, this is real." And if you
Yeah.
like hit somebody with it, oh darn, maybe you lop off their head. It's just, there's certain things that should have safety precaution and training anyway.
Yeah.
Also, I just think a good actor, if you're going to be good at your role, you should probably learn, like if it's a movie about, military, you should probably take military training
Well,
and
yeah,
learn how to
that's
shoot weapons and do
I
stuff
mean,
like,
yeah, that's what
hello.
Tom Cruise does with his films. Like he really
Yeah.
hammers it down when it comes to his certain stunts. But I mean, like, I'm pretty sure there's going to be something in place where like they're going to make this definitely safer. And another kind of question, are we even going to see this movie? Like, I feel like there's so much mud around this movie that if you release it, is the thought of like people's mind of in the
Yeah.
back of their head thinking about like the accident and actually like, you're doing interviews, people are just going to be asking about that accident that happened. So it's like, can you even
So,
release this?
as a, I am not a creative. I'm also not, in charge of their PR. I would say public relation wise, there's two ways that you can release this movie. The first one is to talk about how, you do it in honor and remembrance of the person that passed away. The second way that you would be able to do it is donating proceeds from that towards like the family, or organizations that support accidental gun violence or accidental gun deaths. Which some people would say, oh, accidental doesn't exist because
Yeah.
it's a weapon that's meant to potentially maim or harm or hurt
Yeah.
people. Uh, I'm not taking a stance on what that looks like, but what I will say is that there is opportunities to release this movie.
Yeah.
I think in some cases it would make sense not to, or it wouldn't make sense not to release it, because now,
Now you're in a financial issue.
well, not even that. It's, we've shot this movie, we made it, pretty realistic,
Well, yeah,
and
but I mean,
we're not going to release it.
there's a lot of movies, especially now these days, that get greenlit, even to the point where they're finished and they don't get released. So, like, I
Yeah.
mean, it's not
Yeah.
something unusual, but I'm curious if the studio's gonna get too scared enough to release it because,
Well, but then you have to explain why we shot a movie that never got released that killed somebody. It's danged if you do, danged if you don't. So,
yeah,
I would say that release the movie, donate proceeds, bring awareness, and just be better. And that seems like that's so easy, but I genuinely think that's a good idea.
yeah.
So, but
Um, so let
no,
us know, yeah, let us know in the comment section
oh,
below that what do you guys think about this whole entire situation? Do you agree with the accusations? I mean, like, what are your thoughts? It's a tragic thing, and hopefully the the right people come forward and you know and all that, and we'll see the truth. But another interesting you know way of what's going on in Hollywood is there's a lot of drama around Scream 7. And I don't know if you heard about this, but Melissa, what's her I don't know her to say her last name. I have her name pulled up right here. Melissa Barrera. I think that's how you say her name. She was one of the main characters in the previous Scream movies. Um,
hmm.
and she was fired because a couple months ago she said something online about the Israel stuff, what's going on in Israel, and it's
Hmm.
from what I remember, it was nothing negative, but the studio did not like it, and it's like, and they, I don't, and now we don't know what actually happened. All we know is that she was fired and she was let go, and and not to, and we're not going to really talk about that drama that happened. Don't, uh,
Hmm.
they want to move on from it. That's their own doing. But then that end up having Jenna Ortega leave the project. So now Scream 7 is kind of like in this mess of like, where do you go with it? And it's like, and a lot of people are saying bring back Neve Campbell then. And so, and it's been confirmed that Neve Campbell it will be returning for Scream 7, and as well as Courtney Cox. So this springs, I don't know if,
No,
did you see the previous Scream movies?
I did. I actually do like them.
Yeah, I like five.
Um,
Six is a little, I like five more than six, but six was still decent. Um, it's just I don't know from a story standpoint, it's going to be very confusing, or not confusing, but it's going to be interesting how they just like, all right, so forget about the sisters, ignore them. We're going to focus back on Neve Campbell, and we're never going to bring up the sisters ever again because we did it. We made a decision to fire somebody. So it's like I mean like yeah, I mean, good thing on Neve Campbell because the reason why she wasn't in Scream 6 because they would not pay her a certain amount of money. And when she was saying like, "Hey, I'm the face of this franchise, I kind of deserve a
yeah.
little bit more." So good for her that she got what an actor asks for, basically, or an actor what they think they
So
deserve.
so I think that's great in lots of capacity. There's a few things to kind of touch on here.
Hmm.
Um, Melissa Barrera, I believe
But
is how you
yeah.
say her name. Obviously wading into it's difficult because you want people to have opinions, right?
Hmm.
We want people to have freedom and opportunity to ascribe opinions. But in some cases, there are obviously consequences for
You can
decisions.
speak your mind, but
Yeah,
you
but you have to be
represent.
okay with the consequences.
Yeah.
And that's regarding, comments on, Palestine, Ukraine, Taiwan is a big one right now. Or just comments in general about political candidates or
Anything.
political
Yeah.
policy. Yeah, you understand that if you have a platform and you say something, regardless of whether or not whomever agrees with it, you're putting yourself in the public arena for public opinion.
Yeah.
And so,
Well,
it's interesting.
this is the way I see it. It's like you're representing somebody. And
Sure.
if you go say something and it does not turn out well, that hurts them. And so
Yeah, and
in this case, I don't think she got backlash from like the audience, but the studio's like probably was like, this is a tough subject. You probably shouldn't talk about this. And if they just and the one thing I've been curious about is like, did they ask her not to do that or ask her to take it down, or did they just straight up fire her? Which
yeah,
I feel like
I
they
don't think we'll
just
ever know.
no, we won't. But if
Yeah.
if they ask her like, hey, you need to stop talking about stuff like that, you need to take that down, and she said no, and they'd be like, well, okay. In that circumstance, it's unfortunate, but we have to go our separate ways. Then that's fine on the studio's part because then they at least tried. But if they straight up went like, nope, you're out, get out of here, that's like, okay,
Well,
well, that's a little
and
bit.
here's the thing. I went and I read the thing about, they explained that what she posted, they believed, and I'm saying they believe because I don't know it well enough to make, a form an opinion,
Hmm.
but they believe to be anti-Semitic.
Yeah,
And so, the question is, not what I believe, because obviously
that's what
I'm
the
not the
studios
producers,
believe.
and I don't know what she said exactly, so I can't give a good perspective on it, right?
I mean, I
Um,
can look to see if the post is still up and I can read it if we have time,
yeah,
but
but then
that
there's
was just
no
start a whole
that
argument.
doesn't change. Yeah, and that doesn't change what happened.
No.
Some people feel this way or that way or believe that this is the right thing. I think the better thing that it kind of opens the door for is, does Neve Campbell return for Scream 7 if the other two actresses don't do it? And I have to be honest, I don't know. I think what they ran into, the producers and the director and whatnot, I think they run into an issue where they needed a name to kind of not redeem Scream, but like I don't even know how to explain it. They needed somebody back because they ran out of actresses that they had been relying on, right? And
Yeah.
so they're like, "Hey, she wants to come back, but we're gonna have to pay her. We're just
Yeah.
gonna pay her."
Yeah.
And so it worked, and it's good for Neve. I think it could be good for the franchise depending on the way they go. I know a lot of the ones that they do, you're like, another one,
Yeah.
but they can be entertaining. They're kind of fun. So
Well, the
I like the scary movies where they make fun of Scream. I think
yeah.
those are great.
Well, the thing is, it kind of leaves this big plot hole in the next film is that it's always interesting to figure out who the killer is. And the Scream movies kind of cheat with that. Like it's like, oh, you think it's this person, but really it's like and next when you see the final person, their height doesn't actually match up with the killer that you see the whole entire time.
Sure.
Or but with this next one, it's like, okay, so Neve Campbell's coming back and Courtney Cox is coming back. Those are the only two people that you really are from. Those are actually the only two from the original that are, or any previous one.
Well,
I mean, they might
but
bring back
that's all you need.
who else is coming back? Well,
You're
could
like,
come back.
"Hello, Sydney."
Well, yeah.
Sydney is Sydney. Like,
Well,
come
I
on
know.
now.
Well, I mean, but the point is like if whenever you see a new character, it's like, okay, well, I'm not going to get attached to you because you're just going to be one of the killers. I don't care. But with they were setting up with Melissa's character, is that she could have ended up being the next Ghostface, and that would have been interesting, and it would have been and that would could have been an interesting, like heartbreaking with Jenna Ortega's character because it seemed like they were going from that mental state in a little bit. Uh,
Uh, See, but the problem is that all of these, and we saw it with Disney, where they were trying to make a whole series around Kane. I always forget his name,
yeah.
the actor, and
My
it's like, is
Jonathan
it
Majors.
Jonathan Ed?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jonathan
okay.
Majors.
Yeah, so you put a bunch of eggs in the basket of like, oh, this person's going to be great, and it's like, well, instead of continuing to build those types of arcs, you really need to review what are those characters or what are the aspirations of those actors or things. Otherwise, we're just going to run into issues where you're like, yeah, we're going to make this movie. We already have them signed up for 18 more, and it's like,
Yeah.
really? Why don't you just focus on one at a time, make it
Well,
really good content,
the
and then
difference between Kang and Jonathan Majors with this situation is that Kang was not an interesting character to most audiences. Like
sure.
most audiences saw Kang for the first time in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and that put a bad, pe when people looked at Kang after that movie, it's like, why am I afraid of this guy? Ant-Man beat his ass.
That's
Uh,
true.
and so that kind of just ruins Kane as a cool character. And it's like it made and didn't make him really threatenable. So but with Melissa's character, people really liked her character. People wanted to see her come back, and they were leading her into, and people were interested in seeing what her next step was. So it's a little bit hard. It's a little bit like what's the
Yeah,
word I'm thinking
more
about?
difficult to it's more difficult to comprehend.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm excited.
I
I
mean,
think that
they're
there's a
getting the
lot of
original writer to come back, and he's also directing it. So,
there's opportunity. So, that's all I want to say. I could probably delve into like all the different things on that one in particular.
mhm.
Drop a comment. I'm curious to hear what our viewers have to say in regards to, how do you feel about her coming back? How do you feel about the one girl being dropped? Um, where do you line? I guess alignment's not a good thing, right? We never want people to not speak their opinion, right? It-
Yeah,
there are a lot of opinions that I don't agree with, but I think one of the great things that we have is the opportunity to share. It's just how do you prevent sharing things that could be interpreted or could be flat out hate speech?
yeah,
So um, definitely interested to hear. But
yeah. Well,
I'm very excited for. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I
Sorry.
was gonna say, like, I'm gonna get into a little bit of hate speech into this next topic, even though I'm excited to talk about it. But
Oh my
there's a
goodness.
lot of hate around this
Uh,
franchise. So, if you guys don't know, I really like the Alien franchise. Well, let me
Like
rephrase.
you love.
I love the
Come on
first.
now,
I
come
love the
on.
first two movies. I was gonna say I really like the franchise. I only like the first. I only really like the first two movies. Um, and so today, thank goodness that we didn't record this because the way that we record this a week before it actually goes up, so we don't really get to talk about
Shh,
everything.
you're giving away our
Oh,
secrets.
sorry, my bad.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
But we don't really get to talk about everything. And so sometimes we kind of do also talk about stuff that happened at the end of previous months. So, but luckily, while we're recording this earlier today, they dropped the new trailer for Alien. How do you say the name? Alien
Romulus.
Romulus. Do you know the meaning of that word by any chance?
No, when I think of Romulus, I think of
I think of ramen,
uh
ramen noodles.
no, oh my goodness.
That's
I
the
think
twist. Aliens want
I think
ramen
of
noodles.
Romulus and Remus, which were two of the founders, I think of is it Rome? I think Romulus and Remus were Rome.
Yeah, they were Rome.
So
But I don't know I'm curious what they're gonna do with that word because usually the alien, whenever they use a word that's like like that old, it usually ties into the aliens and how how ancient they are. So, but so they dropped a teaser trailer today, and honestly, I'm gonna say this teaser trailer was the most scariest thing than any movie that has come out in months or years because
you really think so?
I really like this teaser trailer because it gave me that
Okay.
it brought it back to one thing I noticed and from what they talk about is that they really they stripped everything down and brought it back to the basics of Alien. And and so and you just really and they really show that off in this minute teaser trailer. And I'm really excited for this. Like I'm on board. I really liked how it opened, where you open up with the space, like the shot of the space station, reminding me a lot of Alien Isolations. Great game. I don't understand how we never got a sequel to that. Um, all we hear in the background is screaming, and it's like, what is that thing? People getting torn apart, and it slowly pans, and you
Oh,
see the
I know.
tripod, and it's all blood inside of it. And next, it cuts to a bunch of face huggers jumping out of this door, hopping at the main character. I'm like, I'm like, no, screw that, because that's just I basically facehuggers are almost like spiders in some form. And so when I
Oh,
saw
they're
that, I'm like,
perfect.
that's fucking that's terrifying.
Hey, it's you almost got us kicked off or
Oh
banned
no.
on
Uh,
YouTube. No, just kidding.
mm,
No, I was gonna
but
say everybody's getting Ozempic in Hollywood. They
yeah.
just need to get those aliens to eat off some of
See,
their extra fat.
yeah.
So it
Well,
would be
I mean,
perfect.
who knows? This movie might come out and be complete garbage, but just from this minute trailer, I'm just like, you sold me.
Well, okay,
I'll buy my ticket right now.
the director of what Don't Breathe and then Ridley Scott, it has to be pretty good. I have to think it'll
What
be at
he
least
directed
solid.
one of the Evil Dead movies, right? Like the remake. Did not a lot of
Yeah,
people like that one?
I think it was Evil Dead. I thought it was pretty good. I didn't think it
Okay.
was great, but I didn't think it was bad.
Um,
It's one of those things where it's like gotta give credit where it's due, right?
yeah. I mean,
So,
like Captain Kinney has her up and downs, and she has a lot of her
oh my
bads.
gosh. I don't think
So
she has her ups and downs. I think they're just all downs. I
yeah, whenever she
you know,
took over Lucasfilm, but
I am sure she is a very nice person, but man,
I
what
mean,
she did to Star Wars
like,
is
well,
terrible.
whatever good things that come out, she does get praised for, but she puts out a lot of bad stuff. So, like, if you're gonna point out the good stuff, you're gonna have to point out the bad stuff. That's just how it
Yeah,
works. Um,
right now she's making me sad,
yeah.
bad sad.
But
So
it comes really down to the reason why I'm hoping that this movie really is good because modern day horror films suck. And we did a video talking about modern day horror films.
no, it was so good. I don't know why you didn't
Oh,
like Exorcist 3. That was like one of the best movies I've
stupid.
ever seen.
So dumb. I hated that film.
It was a 10 out of 10. It
Oh,
was so good.
well, it was a review on Exorcist, but it really honestly turned into a video about like how modern day horrors are just awful. Literally, I saw an early screen of Sydney Sweeney's Immaculate horror film, and it was boring as uh, It
It
was
was
just
immaculate.
yeah,
It was so
it
good.
was immaculate of garbage. That's what it was.
Oh,
Um,
I don't
and
think you can have
the thing,
immaculate garbage. That's
oh,
like a diphthong or whatever those are, where it's
well,
irony. No.
the thing is, while watching that movie, somebody like this like shadow comes behind from a bed, and someone
Oh
goes,
my
"Oh my
gosh.
God!" And it's like that's what scared, like that's what people think of horror films nowadays days is slow shadows coming up above behind a bed, and like that's what's scary to people now these days. I'm like, if I swear like if this movie is as good as this first teaser gives off, those people are gonna get out of their seats in the theater and start running out and screaming, pissing themselves. That's what's gonna
Oh my
happen.
gosh. You're gonna give a lot of credit. You're hyping this up. It better be good.
It better be because I'm
Otherwise,
praising you, Century Fox, right now. So
oh my
better it
gosh.
better be good. I'm gonna get a lot of hate if this comes out being
I'm
so
gonna
garbage. I see.
I think what should happen.
I'll own up to it if it's garbage. But as right now, you should be ready to buy your tickets.
Oh my goodness. They should just hire you to do the marketing.
Yeah,
I
I
hope
would.
everybody comes back in the comments after they go see that movie and
It's like this. You're wrong.
just tag Austin, just tag Austin, be like, this is the worst movie ever. And
This is
then
the worst movie of 2024. I ever watched Matter Web.
I give them permission to downvote this video if it turns out to be terrible. It'll be perfect. So,
Oh,
but
jeez.
you know what is not going to be perfect? I'm transitioning us into this next topic because
Uh,
I don't like this rumor. So, the next topic that we're going to talk about is the Jurassic World 4 movie.
More Jurassic
I think,
talk.
oh,
So,
oh, give me a break.
well,
Oh,
you do you want to talk about the rumor of the title? The title, if this title is stupid, if this title turns out to be true,
it looks so good.
it's the dumbest title I've ever heard. And there's actually
Okay.
there's already a movie out there called this title.
What,
But
Jurassic City?
yeah,
It's going to
it's
be great.
I don't know why
What
you
they
would call
should
it
do,
Jurassic City. It sounds stupid.
they should do a musical.
Yeah,
So it'll be like, hey ho, we're whatever,
yeah,
dancing, and then you just get eaten by, a T-Rex in the middle of it. It'll be
hey,
perfect.
great. But
So
and also part of this rumor is Scarlett Johansson has been offered the role of the main
no,
lead.
I
I
don't
mean,
get it.
I don't. I mean, like if they're gonna go with somewhat like an action slight horror route with it, she could be good for the part because she's good at doing the action parts. Um, but
I just
I just don't. It's like, are you just trying to attach a big name actor for the sake of because it's a big name actor? If it turns out to be true,
well, I don't blame Scarlett. Go get that bag. So she
yeah.
needs to go
Well,
get paid. But I don't know. When I was reading this, and we send our topics to each other. I was reading this and I was like, they just need to hire Dwayne the Rock Johnson and
I
who
mean,
else is Timothy Chalamet, and then or Chalamet, excuse me,
they
and
did
then they'll
do
be
that
perfect.
with Journey Two, the Mysterious Island.
Yeah, they just
So
I feel
bad.
like at some points this is like when Netflix goes and hires a bunch of actors to be in movies, and then they're like, "This is a great
Millie
movie,"
Bobby
and you're
Brown.
like,
Uh, uh,
I don't think
the
she's that bad. She's just not great.
I think she's
So,
overrated. Um,
oh, she's young. She'll be better. So I think for if anything, she is doing excellent for her age. So go you, Millie.
yeah,
You do you,
she's
Millie.
getting a lot of projects. Doesn't mean they're good. Um,
Hey, I would collect the paycheck too. They're like, here, you need to be a stop sign. Okay.
oh
Dress me up as an octagon. I'm good. Just kidding.
my gosh. But yeah, I mean, that's all. Like, there's not at this point. We all we gotta do is wait for that first synopsis to come out and that
Hmm.
the first set photos, and next probably later this year we'll probably maybe get a trailer. We're probably not gonna even get a trailer this year. We're probably gonna get the trailer next year because they want to have this come out next year. And I mean, like,
That's just not going to happen. It's too
I mean,
soon. And
from what I've heard, they have a script. They're just getting ready to go in production because there's been talks about like them ready to go to Hawaii again. So that kind of just sets up maybe this is going to be a prequel, And if it is, then good, because I don't want anything near with Jurassic Dominion. We don't need to be near that film ever again.
No, we need to be near that film. I
No.
want to be extra number seven guy that gets eaten by, the Stegosaurus or whatever.
No one's
No,
gonna get eaten
Stegosauruses don't get eaten.
because
Yeah.
dinos and humans are now friends.
Oh, I forgot.
Yes.
Everything's good with family.
Yeah.
Oh, Vin Diesel. They should just put him in
No,
the
don't
movie.
give them freaking ideas. Don't give them.
It'll be like family, and then it'll be like a triceratop going
See,
like
you're
in
gonna
the
make a
background.
joke. You're making the joke where like you're saying it like they see you're saying it as a joke, but they're gonna take it serious like the Morbius thing. Like, oh, release Morbius again. Oh, okay.
Hey, bring back Morbin time.
Uh,
Hashtag Morbin
you,
time,
you think if
and then
they
get them to re-release.
you think if they did a re-release of Madam Web and Morbius, which one would you think would make more money?
I think they should do it just as a joke
Just like
and be like,
fight to the death.
"Hey, whoever makes more money
Gets the sequel.
deletes the other one
Yeah,
from." Oh, it's a sequel. That's a
yeah,
good
gets a
one. I
sequel.
like that.
And it doesn't matter
It's
if
good.
it's $1 and $0 to $1, you're getting a sequel.
Well, what would be more funny is if they made negative money. That would be perfect. Nobody sees it.
Oh
So, but
gosh.
somebody out there would see it and ruin it. But no, drop us in the comments below which one you liked better between the two. I'm curious to hear. Are we going with Morbius or are we going with Madam Web?
That's not even
And if
about the
so,
topic, but okay.
I need you. That's okay. I need to know, and I need them to write a 12 paragraph reason as to why they like one over the other. So
Yeah.
drop it.
Yeah. And also let
No,
us know, well, what are you gonna say?
no, I was gonna. I'm moving us along the topics
Oh,
because we
okay.
have so many things. I'm gonna be talking forever. So
Oh, okay.
now it's hot take time.
Well, let me tell them like so let me ask you guys, what do you think the towel is going to be? What do you think what the towel should be, and who's a perfect lead role? I mean, like we don't know what the main character is or anything about them, but who do you think you would want to see in a Jurassic movie?
Vin
Uh,
Diesel.
oh
Vin Diesel.
gosh.
Anybody who agrees with me is amazing.
He would friend the dinos. Be
It would be
like, no,
perfect.
no, no, no. We gotta be family. And we gotta
Oh
eat
my
the bad
goodness.
guys. But yeah, so this is kind of our topic. This is kind of our hot take. Did you watch the video that was part of this hot take?
I have to be honest, I watched part of it and I was like, I have no idea how this is a hot take. Because let me
Well,
tell you,
well,
our
at
hot
least
take's gonna be more hot.
yeah, well, yeah. It's kind of weird of what I'll mention who it is, and I'm not gonna bash on the guy. It's just that it's kind of weird what he tries to go with. I didn't understand really that much about it, but I understood what he means, what he's trying to go for. But so,
Yes.
a lot of stuff has happened in Hollywood lately, and
Hmm.
we had the actors strike, we had the writer strike, and there's talks about another strike happening. I don't know
Oh gosh.
what that organization is or what that has to do with, but there's apparently a strike that's about to happen. That is possible that could happen. And if that does happen, that's probably going to really mess up Hollywood and probably kill it. And so it's just
Which is weird. Weird
yeah.
take.
And I think it's like Hollywood is almost the strikes and the pandemic almost killed Hollywood by itself. And it's kind of like we're in this weird state.
It bounced back.
Well, it's always going to bounce back no matter what. But we're in this weird state of where movies are constantly being delayed, constantly being either greenlit, canceled, and just left on the shelf. Like there's
Or
apparently
over budget. Oh
over
my
budget.
gosh. These
Yeah,
things
like we're getting movies with $300 million and never making their money back because why that movie never needs to be three hundred
see.
million dollars?
Well, Dune perfectly points out why they can make it under 200 million.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
Dune 2.
Dune 2 was $130 million budget film. It maybe throw in a $30 million marketing budget, making it $220 million. It made its money back. It broke even, and it's making profits from that from now. And like
Let's see.
it
We
passed
got to
like the
look where Dune 2 is at.
I think it passed the 500 million mark. Um, and this just shows, and this kind of just leads into the next question: are theaters in trouble? Our theaters like, in danger? Our theaters going to go away? And this has been a debate for years. Like, it started with television where
No.
like, oh, like theater, oh, this is going to be the end of theaters. Then cable came out. Oh, this is the end of theaters. Then streaming came, then some Netflix came along. Oh, this is the end of theaters. And it's like this is the dumbest argument ever because it's like someone arguing about like, when and I'm gonna throw bash at some people that left comments on a video called Arthur the King saying like, oh well, you need to go watch this video to understand the movie. Well, if I have to go watch your video to understand the movie, that means the movie failed. And so that's how your
I think it
argument.
just depends. I think it's the argument is not about theaters. I think the argument is, are you coming up with quality content that makes me want to leave my house and
That's
spend
the thing.
$16 to $20 to watch it? And if you ask me about Marvel, no. I
Mhm.
just brutal, brutal, brutal. Now, what do movies have the opportunity to save movie theaters? Absolutely.
Movies like Dune,
I think that if or Deadpool versus Wolverine,
Alien.
those movies, that is very true. There is definitely potential and opportunity. The hot take is actually not a hot take. The hot take is, are you just making audiences like the movies that you're releasing? Because if not, I am not going to pay $17 when I can pay $12 for Netflix to watch it when it comes out later,
Well, and
and
that's
then
the thing.
probably
And
laugh
that's
at home
and
from my couch.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. There's a lot of different factors of the reason why people don't want to go back to the theater, even though there is people going back to the theater for certain movies. But the bigger problem is that is streaming is a lot of
Hmm.
it when it comes to streaming. It's like, well, okay, a movie goes on for like maybe 45 days, which is its normal runtime,
Hmm.
and it instantly gets put on streaming. They need to they like that's I think that's the problem mostly is that I think they should wait 2 months or three to really drop it on a streaming service to make people go be part of the talk of like, oh, this movie is really good, you need to go see it.
Yeah.
And because people, the one thing that people are now these days are impatience. The TikTok kids
Oh,
are
I know.
impatient, and so
The TikTok kids. Oh my goodness, the
we're,
iPad children.
I'm
No, I'm
already
just.
gonna that's gonna get hate, but screw it. People like so people don't want to wait that long for something. So it's like if you're making them wait 6 months for a movie to hit streaming, they will go see it in theaters. And but it also comes down
But
to
even
the
then,
quality of the
if
movie.
they have to wait, yeah. If I'm gonna go see, I'm sorry, I'm gonna get a dislike for this one. Avatar 2, overrated. I would have watched that on streaming
I
service,
like that
but
one. I liked it way better than the first one.
oh, that's not saying much. That's like
Oh, well, yeah.
saying mid is better than
That's
mid.
that's like saying that I
So,
like Morbius over Madam Web. Um, but
well, and to each their own. A lot of people
I
have,
don't like it, but
preference. Yeah, but no, I don't think theaters are in danger. And is streaming going to be the reason for it? No.
no.
If anything, the thing that's going to kill theaters is releasing garbage content that nobody wants to see, that they'd
Yeah.
rather just wait for, release. And let's be real. We know that, remember Scarlett Johansson a few years ago and this whole streaming contract, and she was mad. A lot of these actors and actresses are not seeing the fruition of streaming services.
Yeah.
So why would they agree to it? They're not. So
Well,
there's going to be somebody somewhere.
studios are actually realizing that they don't make money off of streaming. That's why actually this kind of reverts back to Alien that I kind of forgot to mention in that topic is that that was originally supposed to be a Hulu movie. That was going to go straight up onto Hulu, but then I saw something where or I heard something where execs saw the movie, they're like, no, we got to put this in theaters. And because so that means they have that much trust in this movie that they're going to put it in theaters.
Which is good.
And I guarantee it's partially because when they put Prey on Hulu, it got so much praise. They probably butthurt that they did not put that movie in theaters because they would have made a bunch of load of money off of it. And
I I would be curious to see if they would have made as much money as you think. I think
I
I
think
think
they
what
would have.
happened, it was an excellent film for Hulu or for a
Well,
streaming platform, and
yeah,
that's what made it so good.
but it was also a
It
really good movie.
That's true. But I mean, I'm wondering if it got more love because it was on a streaming platform, and normally
No.
streaming platform movies are
Well,
terrible.
see, the thing
I
is,
just
it like when something is thrown on streaming, no one knows that it's on streaming. Like, did you know that um Spaceman and Adam Sandler's movie was on Netflix already? Did you know that Damsels in the
Yes,
Okay, well, okay. Let me
I
just run
watched
my
Damsel.
yeah, that was not a very good movie. But
That was a terrible
my
movie.
point being is that you see maybe one post on it on Instagram, and next you see it on the front page on Netflix for a week, and it's gone. It's disappears. It's into the algorithm of Netflix's other disasters. And so it goes away, and no one, and it's probably never ever seen again. That's what streaming is, and no one really knows about it. But then you see movies that are put in theaters first, and next it does really well in the theaters. Next, people hear about word of mouth, and next it gets put on to streaming, and it does even better on streaming than it would have just been put on to stream.
That's fair. Yeah, like if
And
you just dropped it.
yeah, it's so I feel like streaming has ruined a lot of things for people. And and nothing better else is better said is that nothing is you're most likely going to be the death of your own self. Like, for example, theaters are going to be the death of themselves if they keep racking up the prices on things. And if studios are not going to put out the quality of better quality films, because people will pay 13 to $16 to go see Doom Part 2 because it's really good.
Great movie. Great movie.
But if you put out something like Madam Web, no one's going to pay 13 to $16 for that crap.
That was such a great movie. I don't know what you're talking
Oh,
about.
right. And so people will
No
pay
sarcasm whatsoever.
people will pay the money to go see it. But you know what people won't pay is is stuff like what streaming services will do in the future, and which is this guy kind of hints at. John Campia, I don't know if you guys know him, but he kind
He
of did
seems
a
like a cool dude.
he seems
We could
cool
be
and he has a
friends.
lot of insight on stuff, and not trying to bash the guy, but he brings up an interesting topic about what streaming services are going to do in the future, or what could happen, or what will happen. So he brings up about, like, signing in fees. So a lot of people would sign up for a streaming service to watch one thing, and cancel their subscription. So basically what he means by that, there will be a $10 fee when you sign up, and if you cancel your subscription, you would and if you want to sign back up for that streaming service, you would have to pay that $10 fee again, and et cetera, every time you cancel your subscription, which I can see happening. I think that's very reasonable, and a lot of people do that. um
AMC does it when you sign up for their movie pass.
oh, really? Do they really?
Yeah,
Okay.
they'll give you the first month for 99 cents and then they make you stay at least 3 months. And then if you cancel, you can't join again for 6 months. It's like
Oh,
a very like stringent.
jeez.
Yeah.
They're like, well, you're either with us or you're never with us ever again, type of deal. And another one he kind of brings up is premium type of stuff. So which I already see happening with, like, Netflix, for example. You can pay, I believe, $20, maybe $20 for 4K. Like, that's like almost what he's basically hinting at. You're paying for better quality instead of getting like the HD or ad tier or whatever. That's already technically happening, but maybe they'll lead it into where you get this early exclusive. You get the whole
Yeah.
season. Uh,
Insight.
yeah, you get the whole final season of Stranger Things before everyone else, type of deal. Like, I can see that happening. The one thing he also mentions, and I mean, like, it's possible. And I think Hollywood's that, or Netflix is that stupid to might do it. And honestly, I'm using Netflix as like a
You're letting them know.
as an example, because Netflix does a lot of stupid things. Um,
They just have money to throw around. So
they
go
honestly really do.
Netflix.
Is he brings up credits, and he uses audiobook as an example, and I asked you if you had audiobook or whatever, but you didn't really know
I've
anything
used it
about.
before.
Oh, okay. But
I just don't have it currently.
okay. So I looked into it, and he mentioned about a subscription. I'm like, subscription, it's audiobooks. You have to go on and buy it. But there is a subscription to it. And then really the subscription is for currency, for credits. And next you get some exclusive stuff that's on there by itself. But mostly you have to pay for the books on there. And
Hmm.
actually can get credits to use to getting a discount on that books. And what he uses as an example on Netflix, where you get a credit system like that audiobook system, and if you have to pay and you have to use credits to watch this movie or use this credits to watch this TV show. I don't see that happening because that ruins the whole purpose of streaming services, and it's the
Yeah.
dumbest thing I have actually ever heard because it makes no sense
Well,
because you're not paying for the movie. You're not paying to keep the movie or anything. It's not like you're on audio to pay for the book and it's yours, or you're getting a
I think
discount.
I think what they're trying to do is see how far they can push people to do it. I'm very curious to see how they do it because the whole thing will be like very interesting,
Yeah,
honestly. So
I don't see the credit system on a streaming service making any sense because it's like then what's the point of me paying you Netflix $20 a month for a for a library of movies for 4K for me just to repay you again with credits. I just
that is,
like
yeah, you are kind of right.
I think that will be the line pushing it too far and that's where you're gonna have it with people because that makes no sense. And Netflix will not be like, well, that sucks for you. I guess you're not gonna watch the next season of Stranger Things. No, you're just gonna be like,
I
okay,
would.
we're sorry. Here you go. Go back to the old subscriptions because there's gonna be too much backlash where you're not gonna get enough people to watch it.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
And so, but
It'll
you
be
know,
interesting.
the other two, but the other two things that he brings up, I do see happening because we already do see it happening. Like you brought up AMC, but NX, the premium stuff, honestly, kind of makes sense. I wouldn't mind seeing Stranger Things a week early and telling everyone that it sucks. So, I'll be happy to do that. Pay $30 a month for that.
We'll see how much it'll be. I'm a skeptic, but I'm excited for this next one. And we're gonna have to lightning round this because we have
but
like 85 topics,
oh
bro.
yeah. But yeah, so let us know what you guys thought about the hot take and give your guys' thoughts on this. But yeah, so what was the Oscars? Oh, great. Oscars happened.
Yay. This was
Uh
good. This was good.
so thank you, by the way, thank you to everyone who joined us on the live stream for the 17 minutes that we could watch the Oscars because that got
Oh
taken
no.
down instantly. AUC came for my ass. So that's just whatever. But thank you guys for joining the
They let
giveaway.
you know.
Yeah. And hopefully everyone's enjoying their prizes. I still haven't sent them out at this moment, but they will be. They will be going out, I promise. So thank you guys for everyone that joined the giveaway. It was a lot of fun. Reading you guys' answers and seeing the big differences. But so the Oscars happen, and
Hmm.
biggest one I think that got robbed was Spider-Man. I thought Spider-Man
Oh goodness.
was
You
just a
know,
I think The Boys and the Heron was a good film, but Spider-Man pushed animation and like art in a whole new way, and the story was amazing, even though it did kind of ended abruptly, but that story was way better than The Boys and the Heron in every way. And
I don't,
I think it's
I
because it's
watched it and
Spider-Man.
I liked it.
Well, it's good. Like I said, it's good, but I like
I thought
Spider-Man
it was good.
I think Spider-Man's a way better film to win an Oscar over that film. And I think it was because it's Spider-Man, it's like, oh, it's a superhero film. We can't give that an Oscar.
Well, oh, excuse me, my goodness. No, I think the other thing too is that it ended. It's a bridge film. It's
Yeah.
very difficult for a bridge film to win. I'm just glad it wasn't Elemental. That was
Gosh,
not
that was
good.
so bad. Whoever says
So
that's a good movie, needs their
I
rights
thought
of
I thought
reviewing taken away.
overall they had a lot of really good. There were a lot of really good winners that I thought there could have been either way, but to
I
lose
don't,
this year, if you
well, I was gonna say like majority of it was Poor Things and Oppenheimer that were winning things. Um,
the only thing that I would argue is I thought Lily Gladstone was better than Emma Stone, but that's just my opinion. So
for who? For Barbie?
for Best Actress, no, she's in Killers of the Flower Moon.
Oh, Killers of the Flower
I
Moon,
thought,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I thought she was excellent. So
But
like,
I liked Emma Stone's
fine,
speech. I thought she gave a good speech. She got very emotional up
sure.
there. Um, But
Yeah, I
I
just
I thought Paul I think Paul Giamatti should have won Best Actor, to be honest. I thought he did really
really.
I really liked him in The Holdovers. I thought that film was really good. But I feel like every year it's whatever wins Best Picture, the actor that's in that movie usually wins Best Actor. I feel like I've hardly seen someone that wins Best Actor that was in a different movie. Um,
Well, I think just Killian just was so good. He just
I mean,
he's thrived in the roles that he's selected.
for
So
sure.
plus Peaky Blinders, dude is just great.
Yeah.
But I
Good.
don't think I was I don't think I was upset by any of them, honestly.
No,
So
besides Spider-Man, that's the only one I'm really upset about. Um,
yeah, other people were upset about I'm Just Ken instead of What Was I Made For. But What Was I Made For musically is just a beautiful song.
it
So
is, but I'm just Ken just relates to a lot of single guys. All right. So
I'm
give us a
just
break.
Ken.
Um, but also
Oh,
good to Godzilla -1 for winning Best
oh,
Visual.
so good.
That's a
Yeah, and
great
for
film.
doing it with like what, a $10 million budget or whatever.
I think so, yeah. And and it's the first Godzilla movie to ever win an Oscar. So that just tells you
It
WB that
was
you suck at making Godzilla films. So,
oh no. They just need to figure out how to be as good as that one. But
no.
no, overall, I think nothing crazy happened. There were some great
What are you
winners.
talking about? I got
Um,
slapped. ABC slapped me. That's something that's crazy
oh
that
my
happened.
god. Yeah, they slapped you off the stream.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
no, but I was very pleased. And
yeah.
can I lead us into this next one? Because I'm very excited to talk about it.
Yeah, so let us know in the comment section below what you think should have won at the Oscars, or were you satisfied what happened at the Oscars? And so yeah, let us know in the comment section below.
If you weren't satisfied, we don't want to hear it. Just
Oh,
kidding. Let
yeah.
us know. Always impressed to hear. No, so the next one that we're talking about, I'm super excited about, is the Harry Potter series coming in 2026. So this news did come out last month,
Yeah.
but basically, we're seeing this opportunity to relive Harry Potter. I've seen, I don't know about you, Austin, but I've seen some really good comments of like, "Yay, I'm excited! I get to live more about Harry Potter and like have my
I
kids be excited for it."
Yeah,
And
and you
I've
had the
seen some other
success
people
of
that are like,
Legacy, lost like Hogwarts
"Yeah,"
Legacy and all that.
and then I've seen other people that are like, "This is so stupid. I loved Harry Potter. They should have left it at the movies and called it a day."
Yeah.
Um,
I
you, you
understand
know,
both
I think
sides. I understand
I do
both sides.
too.
But the ones that
I
say
think
like
I
about J.K. Rowling, like all the transfer, I'm like that's just dumb drama.
I don't know. I don't know anything about her, so can't speak to her. But what I can say is that, the fact that it's going to be on Max is going to be really good. And
HBO puts out great shows, so that's what makes me really happy about this. I'm
me
like,
too.
because like they're gonna give each, and they're already saying like this is gonna be a 7 season deal. They're gonna give each book its own season, which great because then that means we get to flesh more of the characters out. Ron and Hermione actually won't feel like a couple and not feel like a weird thing that they had in the movies.
I mean, that was the whole point of the movie was how he would consistently kind of sabotage. Ron was always like
He
not
was a
confident.
whiner.
I just like Ron
I
Weinersley.
he
Just kidding.
he made honestly I kind of really hate his character in Deathly Hallows Part One. I just did not like
That's
his.
fair. Oh, how he was a powder. Pout, pout, pout,
Yeah,
wine,
and they're
wine,
like,
wine.
take off the necklace. We know it's like they know that it's the freaking necklace making them angry. Take it off.
Yeah,
Stupid.
the Horcrux.
Yeah.
No, I think it'll be exciting. There's not a lot on it yet, so we
Well,
just really wanted
eh,
to
they
to breach the topic.
the one thing that they're gonna really have to do is hammer the casting because you already set the standards of the cast in the movies. So you really gotta freaking up no, like really bring it
They'll
up
get it.
here. So
They'll get it.
I'm really excited
It's
though.
it's Max. They should get it.
Yeah.
So
Like and maybe have the original cast involved with the casting. And like say like
mhm.
here have Daniel Radcliffe say like here is the new Harry Potter and maybe that will give some people like that aren't really ready to move on be like okay well the original actor is saying here's the new cast I picked him out personally myself and maybe that will help them move on from it. And so I'm like,
It'll be excellent.
yeah, I think a lot of stuff can
I
be
have faith.
I think a lot of stuff can be fleshed out way better than the movies. And you know, and you know who I forget who I said that look oh, that's who it was. They should get Austin Butler to play Voldemort because he just looked like Voldemort in Dune Part 2.
Honestly, he's been on a roll. So, let's give him in. So, and
But
speaking of on a roll, we're gonna roll into the next one too,
mm,
because there's been some good topics. I'm very excited, and when I get excited to talk about topics, I'm just ready to go bam and just hit everybody with the great. So, one, let us know who you want to be potentially in the Harry Potter series. I want to hear what potential casting looks like. I'm curious to hear our viewers' perspective. Um, but the next one is about Peacemaker season one and how it's not canon in the James Gunn universe, DCU.
yeah.
What do you think about this, Austin? I thought this was interesting.
Well, I
I'm
re
actually not that mad.
I'm not mad about it. I really liked the first season a lot. And if you really look at it from just this first season, the only thing that you really have to what's the word I'm looking for? To retcon. That's the word I was looking. The only really part that you have to part of that show you have to retcon is the final moments of that show where the Justice League show up. So I thought that season one could really work. And
Only I feel like that's a pretty big detail. But I wasn't a huge. I'm not a detractor. I thought it was pretty entertaining.
yeah. And like because like if you think about James Gunn's Suicide Squad and and Peacemaker, it's pretty separate from the DCU as its whole. So it could have been like here you go, it's part of this universe, even though Amanda Waller and all that are were in the other films, but even she's coming back in his universe. The same actor is coming back. And so I mean like I'm curious what they're gonna do then. It's like, are they gonna call this new Peacemaker a different show then? Like, are they gonna call it Peacemaker Peacer? I don't know. Like, I don't, are they gonna make it a different show like, Daredevil's show where like, you had Daredevil's Netflix show and now you have Daredevil's Born Again? Are they gonna do that type of way? And so it's just I'm curious how they're gonna do it. And it also and this season is supposed to take place after Superman Legacy, which is now just called
Yeah,
Superman. So
which will be
uh,
good.
yeah.
And speaking of Superman, let's talk about his counterpart.
Oh, the Batman. Batman Part 2 is delayed. Great. I'm
Well,
sad.
you know it was coming. Those movies, you don't show up and make something as great as it was.
But but
So,
but Batman, Robert Pattinson. We are getting the Penguin. I think we're getting it this year, aren't we? Or is that next year? I think we're supposed to get it this year. Um and Robert Pattinson is supposed to make an appearance in that. But yeah, there's a lot of things going on around this reason of the Batman being delayed. It's like Matt Reeves working on other things or like WB's being is like, that is worried about it and it's not like up to its standard or whatever. I think it's going to
mhm.
come out and either way still be great. I just want it. I want it.
Oh, of course you do, but you're gonna have to wait for it.
No,
Remember, you talked about how people
I
wanted
hate
things, and
Christmas. I hate waiting for Christmas.
oh my
Just give
gosh,
it just give it to me now.
give it to me now. So,
I don't
yeah,
know.
no, it'll be interesting.
What do you think the reasons for the delay is? What like the
There
possibilities?
could be a whole slew of issues because you have to think they had started doing the storyboarding right while they were in the writer's strike.
Yeah.
So it kind of came out in between in a weird time. So I don't know. There could be a ton of things.
Yeah. I mean, and what do you think the Batman Part 2 would be about? I think they came out and said a couple of things about it, but what could you see them doing in Part 2?
Um, I think they should have numerous villains, and then Robin.
Okay. Yeah, that could work. I could see that happening. I mean, the only thing I don't know, what were your thoughts on the first one?
I loved it. I thought it was so good. I,
Okay.
I just thought it was good.
Okay. But yeah. So I mean, let us know your guys' thoughts on the Batman Part 2. The reason why you think it might have been delayed. Are you excited for it? Are you fine with it being delayed? I mean, I'm still fine with it being delayed, but it's like I would have been fine with still having it next year. I mean, like that's the thing. It's been pushed back a full on year, and that's what the part that shocked me. It's like maybe a few months, but a full on year. It's like, oh wow, okay. So well, we're just gonna have to wait until 2026. But the Jungle Cruise 2. So you're the one that sent this one to me. Um,
Yeah.
is this been confirmed, or they want to just, or are there, or the actors talking about like being interested in doing another one?
Yeah, I think what they're talking about is like the potential for them to reunite.
Okay.
Um, so it's a non-committal, so they haven't said, "Hey, we're going to do this yet." But I'm interested to see how they can kind of storyboard because I thought the first one was pretty entertaining. It was very interesting. But
Okay.
how do you make another movie about that?
Well, I
The only
mean,
thing that I'm excited about,
screw it up
I
like
love Emily
pirates.
Blunt. Oh my gosh, not pirates.
Just, gosh. But yeah, I mean, I haven't seen the first one. I was planning on trying to watch it before we record this. I just never got around to doing that. I watched Aliens
Oh,
instead.
I think you'll like it. I thought it was entertaining.
I know
So,
I've heard really good things about it, and I've heard The Rock and Emily Blunt have great chemistry in it, and they would like, and from my understanding, they would like to do another one with one another. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's just, what was the first one about? That's the thing.
it's basically about how they're looking for this artifact in um,
So it's a treasure
more or
hunter.
less looking for this artifact. Yeah, and they're trying to find it, and they're having to deal with like other people that are looking for it, and
So they just do so
she's looking for it,
yeah.
and yeah, and
They
then Dwayne owns the boat, and he's the Jungle Cruise
Oh,
guy.
okay. So
Hmm.
they just do like an Uncharted adventure. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah.
I think you just have to see it, honestly. So,
Okay.
but
But
no, let us know. Let us know, people, in the comments. I'm interested to hear if you want to see a Jungle Cruise 2. Is it something you're interested in? Is it should have left it at the first one? Do we like the casting? Curious.
or do we need more Disney crap? I don't know. Let us know.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh. No,
I'm
boo.
gonna
No,
crap on Disney as much as I can,
boo.
and
I'm
I'm
just
gonna
kidding.
crap on this as much as I can that we're gonna talk about next. Venom 3. It has a title now. Venom: The Last Dance. Sounds stupid, and we get a release date. It comes up. It actually was supposed to. I think it was gonna come out in November, but then it got moved up to October. It came out, and now it's being released in October 25th. So. I'm not a big fan of the Venom films. I like the first one. I thought the first one was fine. The second one was just terrible. I thought that one was dumb.
I think there's opportunity to redeem it. I just think that it's sad that Venom got three movies
Well,
um, Tom Holland got three or four, and before Tobey Maguire got a fourth, or Andrew Garfield got another.
yeah,
That's weird to me.
I just, I just don't know why they try to make Venom funny. That's the part that throws me off. Like Venom should be this terrifying creature, and it should be a dark story, but no, they want to make it funny, so then it opens up to the broader audiences, so then they get the most money because nothing more makes more money than a comedy, apparently. Clearly they didn't watch The Joker. It made $1 billion, but what do I know about?
Shh, No, we don't mention that. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
But
sorry.
no, it'll be interested. It'll be interested to see kind of the information revealed about it,
Yeah.
and
Well, and
I think giving Tom Hardy another opportunity is good.
well, yeah, no, it's fine. And clearly these make movies and all movies. These clearly make money. So and but this is kind of going to be an interesting thing though, is that the person that has been writing all three of these films is also directing it. So I don't remember that the person that directed the other ones, but apparently whoever wrote the previous ones is directing this one, and it's their first time directing ever. So
Oh, interesting.
that kind of makes me a little bit worried.
It'll be good. It'll
It'll
be
be crap.
solid.
Um,
Yeah.
it'd be good crap. That's what it is. It'd be good crap to throw out the wall. but no one wants to throw crap at the wall. That's the thing. Because then it stinks up your whole entire room. But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I'll be there in theaters because I have no choice. If I wasn't doing this, I honestly would not go see it. Um, but you know what? You know what I would watch just to make fun of because it looks terrible, to be honest, is Spider-Man horror fan film. And who is it
Who
with?
doesn't love that?
It's with our good man Chandler Riggs, who we are watching right now in our Walking Dead series on the channel with Cliff. So go check that out. But yeah, you watched the trailer, didn't you, right?
I did see it. I'm very interested to see how that works.
I'm curious if
I
it's going to
I
even come out
don't
on theaters. I
know.
don't know if it's like a short film or anything, but it's probably just going to be put up on YouTube.
So here's the thing. I like Chandler. I'm very interested to see how he does. Um, I don't know.
I I mean
I
I
think that there
I,
could be.
I haven't seen him acting much besides the Walking Dead stuff, so I don't know really much about his skill of acting. But you know what? I can see him playing a Peter Parker type because he has that face of a
He
nerd
fills it.
and like that muscular type of face, I guess.
You gotta give him credit. He could end up being really good.
Or he just gets shot again like he does in the show. I don't know.
Shh. We
Oh,
don't mention that
spoilers.
either.
Oh,
Yeah, sheesh. I'm just
I,
kidding.
I like
If
what
they
do
haven't
you
seen that by now, we're in trouble.
yeah.
So
I mean, what do you think this could like is it gonna lead into the trauma of what it was like being a bit inspired? Like what's it gonna make a as like a horror? Like what did you think they're gonna
I think what they should do is they should make him an anti-villain or an anti-hero, excuse
so
me.
Venom?
And so, yeah, and so he gets bit by a spider and then he starts eating people or, putting them in webs. That would be very fascinating.
Hmm. So like
Just like
a
that weird Charlotte's Web scary movie that's supposed to be coming out.
Charlotte what? Charlotte's
Yeah,
Web.
there's I'll send it to you. Don't worry,
Oh,
Austin.
okay.
It's very
Well,
interesting.
I thought you were gonna mention Winnie the Pooh or that Mickey Mouse horror film, which comes out the day after we after this goes up. So I'll be watching that. Great.
I can't wait. I can't wait until our next one to hear about how horrible you hated it because I already know that's coming. So, but no, I'm excited. So I'm curious to hear, is everybody down for Spider-Man to be a horror film?
I'm
Drop
yeah.
below in the comments. Drop below. There's a
Get
lot of things that people are going to be commenting on.
yeah. Get fun. Yeah. Hey, boost that trending. Make this number one trending on YouTube. Just from comments, not views. Like just say
If that
have it be number one trending, but just one view.
if that happened, I think I may have to chop off all my hair. That would be
Yeah.
that incredibly impressive. So,
Um Now, to end everything on, it's another Spider-Man topic. Spider-Man multiplayer game canceled leak. So there's two trailers actually got leaked about this, where they were working on a Spider-Man multiplayer game, which is what I asked for in Spider-Man 2, and I didn't get that. And
yes,
and it looked
that was
I
sad.
and usually people are and some people are like mad about it like when people it's like people don't know when a lot of things are going on so when things get canceled people are like oh well we
Mhm.
wanted this and next when the game comes out like oh we didn't want this it's like people don't know what they want
They just want what they can't have, which
yeah
is what they don't get.
it's a
So
Spider-Man
it's like
multiplayer game which
you literally could have released any game and people would be like, "Oh, I hate this game. Oh, I love this game. Oh,
yeah
this game should have had this or it should have been that." Blah blah blah. And it's like, well, that's
the
unfortunate. So,
thing is, like from the like, and these almost look like fully fleshed, done trailers, like ready to be put out to market. But just from the what they shown in the trailers, I'm like, I'm not really interested, especially after playing Spider-Man 2, which wasn't as good as the first one. It's slightly better than Miles Morales' Spider-Man. Is that the Spider-Man flick of things? It just got old. It really did.
yeah.
And the co-op asset put in it would if that was put into that game, that would rejuvenate. I'm using that word right.
Rejuvenated?
Yeah,
Yeah,
rejuvenated
I got you.
that game. And it would have
Well,
been
it could
more
have
fun.
been.
It would have been a lot more fun to play that with a friend. Like how cool would it have been to swing around and fighting Venom with your friend? Like that would have been fun and been somewhat different, and it would add something new to the Spider-Man game. But no, they went to with a normal single player route, which is fine. It's just that I just don't care anymore, to be honest. I'm still looking for the Wolverine game. Like,
That's
I'm
fair. But I mean, you've lost interest because of the fact that they've, changed and done stuff. And that's the hard thing is that when you're waiting for something and then they change it or do something different, that's difficult to readjust to that. So
yeah.
I don't
I
blame you, honestly.
I, I think the reason
That's
why they canceled this is because I don't think it would have sold well. I don't think people are
it may not have, honestly.
like with the because as much people praise Spider-Man 2, I not a lot of people talk about that game anymore. And that game came out a few months ago. Like two came out in November,
I
right?
think it's just about what's popular at that point in
I
time. You know what I
guess,
mean?
but I don't it just wasn't as well as wasn't as what's the word? Blanking words. It just wasn't up to my expectations, and I was really let down by the story in Spider-Man 2. And and
Well, and
just
that's the
swinging
hard part.
around in New York, as much as fun as that was to redo again, literally I got more bored of that faster than I played Spider-Man, the first one. And mostly because the first Spider-Man just had a really good story. I was invested. I did not care about Harry in Spider-Man 2. And
Oh,
so,
you didn't.
no,
Okay.
because, screw Harry. I don't know. I just did not really care about their bonding and, and next him becoming Venom and next they wasted Craven. So, a lot of different issues. It really did feel like a reskin. It just felt a reskin of the first one and just like, there you go. A DLC, really. That's only honestly what it felt like is a big DLC.
Yeah, that's the hard part is that's what happens sometimes with some of these is they get to it and you're like, yes, this is good. And then it's like, and then it falls off.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, like, were you would you guys played Spider-Man multiplayer? I mean, like, I'm still up for like a superhero multiplayer game. Like, I mean, who knows? We could get Insomniac could be you use this failure or this like, I guess failure, yeah. This unfortunate situation and apply it to another game, like they could make their own Avengers game and it's
They could have.
all these superheroes like Wolverine, Spider-Man, and whatever the superhero they use come into one game, and that will be their multiplayer game. Just don't make it live service. I'm sick of it. No loot boxes. I swear, if I see any loot boxes in that game, I'm coming to your studio and I'm slapping every single one of you. So no loot boxes. So yeah,
I think
that's
they
a
should do pay to play like EA. I'm just
pay pay $1 every hour to keep playing our game. Oh gosh, don't do
that
that.
would be perfect.
Oh.
That's a great idea.
I just gave him an idea. Yeah, and that's another thing. I think that if anything, if this game did come out, it would have been just another big live service loot box type of game, and it would have ruined Insomniac's name. And that's another reason why a lot of games like this do get canceled because, like, well, if
Yeah,
we release this, people will not look at like they used to. We would have a bad representation to our name now if we did release this. And so that's probably part of the reason why we're never going to get this game. So like there's multiple different reasons. So sometimes it's good and sometimes it's like, nah, I don't we don't want to. So, but yeah. Um
that is fair. That is kind of fair though, honestly. Yeah.
uh any other thoughts on this or is like
No, I think it's one of those things where it's like, I wish they would have made it, but I understand why they canceled it. So I
yeah,
think they just need to keep building games and, if they're gonna do something, if they're gonna do an artistic project, like invest in it, like
yeah.
fully jump into it.
And
So
Insomniac isn't really known for multiplayer games, and maybe this just wasn't the game to. It was maybe a good tester, but it wasn't the game to release. So, same thing with Naughty Dog and their Last of Us multiplayer game that they want to do. Maybe not really worth the release, but maybe it was good to test the waters with and build up our employees to get the knowledge of type of deal, and we'll apply it later down the line. So, well, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. Not this year is going to be a drag with games and movies. I mean, even though actually a lot of people say that this year is going to be empty with movies. We still have a lot of movies coming out this year,
Oh, 100%.
but they're just not big
We have
name
a lot to
movies.
talk about.
There's just not really big name
Well,
movies that people are going to be like, "Oh, wow, I know this because of this." I'm like, but there's still a lot of potential great movies that are going to come out this year, like
well,
Alien,
and that's a
like
good thing is
Twisters.
let's see what smaller movies or like less known movies come out with,
Yeah, yeah,
because that can help kind of reshape the landscape of how we watch movies. So
yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you guys for sticking around to this one. We'll be back again next month about topics. If you guys watch this fully, thank you very much. And yeah, let us know what your guys' thoughts of the topics that we talked about. Maybe let us know what some topics have happened at the end of this last week that you might want us to talk about in next month. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and like always, we'll see you guys in the next review. Bye, guys.
Have a good one.